In biblical lore, Lucifer was God's greatest and most beautiful creation, until his vanity made him think that he could overthrow the Most High God. His rebellion caused God to cast him down from heaven, along with those angels who were allegiant to Lucifer. And when he was cast down, he became Satan.
The world is waking up to the profound truth, and we are discovering, or rediscovering, the pathway to our fullest potential. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Good evening, fellow gurus. Tonight, we explore the origin of evil. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy, there was only one will, the will of God. But then the winds began to go astray, as a darkness gestated in the heart of one morning star. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Why did Lucifer decide to lead an insurrection against the Most High? Wasn't he the ruler of the universe, the highly anointed cherub that covereth, the wisest and most beautiful of them all? He had everything. But it wasn't enough. The moment he declared, I will, he had transgressed against God. Lucifer's rebellion introduced a second will into the universe. There was the will of God, and now the will of Satan. We're not talking about the will of a force equal to God. Rather, we are referring to a subordinate rebelling against his creator. We're talking about the difference between eternity and time. You see, in eternity, God's will is supreme, the one and only. In time, there is more than one will. God created Lucifer as a free moral agent. Upon his creation, Lucifer took his place as the highest, most beautiful, most powerful, and wisest of the creatures of God. An angel of light, he was prophet, priest, and king. He spoke for God to the universe and took the worship of the angelic hosts to God and ruled over the universe for God. This is what he was before he sinned. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. So Satan, passing through his hands the merchandise of authority from God above to the creation below, and returning the merchandise of worship from the world of spirit beings to God above, decided that since he was wise and beautiful to such a degree, he could retain some of the worship for himself, and that he could originate some of the authority in himself. Thus he filled his heart with the violence of rebellion. He had been entrusted with God's government, priesthood, and spokesmanship, but he wanted to act independently of God. He who was prophet, could he not give orders under his own authority instead of being utterly dependent upon the invisible God? He who found himself, as he was in truth, so magnificent, so beautiful, so filled with power, sealing up the sum. Could he not take some of the worship of the multitudes for himself? Was there not some worthiness in himself that should be acknowledged? Here is the origin of sin. So here we have a spiritual being created by the Most High, a free moral agent who chose to go along with the iniquity he found within his heart by way of the merchandise he peddled. This jealousy resulted from all the worship and praise that God had received from the angelic hosts and spiritual beings. Instead, Lucifer wanted all the praise and worship for himself. He thought that he could do a better job than God. Lucifer had an exhilaration for domination. Well, pride does cometh before the fall, and a fall he had. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, take up a lament concerning the king of Tyre, and say to him, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you. Carnelian, chrysolite, emerald, topaz, onyx, and jasper, lapis lazuli, turquoise, and beryl. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mount of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created, till wickedness was found in you. Through your widespread trade, you were filled with violence, and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, and I expelled you, guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. So I threw you to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade, you have desecrated your sanctuaries. So I made a fire come out from you, and it consumed you, and I reduced you to ashes on the ground, in the sight of all who were watching. All the nations who knew you are appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more.